to a framework that, no joke, a total game changer for any small business owner.
It's Allan Dib's one-page marketing plan. And the whole point is simple and honestly pretty awesome. It's designed to be the fastest path to the money. So let's just kick things off with a quote that, wow, it hits hard, right? Because for so many entrepreneurs, it's just painfully true. If you've ever felt that way, I'm talking working insane hours, totally stressed out, trapped by the very thing that was supposed to set you free, you are so not alone. But the good news is, there is a way out of that prison. And that feeling, that trap, is the first big idea we need to unpack. Dib calls it the small business trap, and it's something almost everyone falls into. So what is this trap really? Well, here's how it happens. You're great at what you do. You're a brilliant baker, or a top-notch coder, or an amazing plumber. And one day you think, you know what? Why am I working for this idiot boss? I can do this myself. The problem is, you go from working for an idiot boss to becoming one. Just because you're a master of your craft, it doesn't automatically mean you know how to run the business of that craft. This slide just lays it out so perfectly. You've got two completely different paths. On the left, you've got the technician, stuck in this high-stress job they accidentally made for themselves. But on the right, you've got the business owner, who actually masters the business itself and gets that real freedom. The key isn't to work harder, it's to totally shift your mindset. So, okay, how do you make that shift? Well, it starts by avoiding what is probably the single most common and most expensive mistake in all of small business. And there it is. The number one mistake a small business can make is looking at what some huge company is doing and trying to copy them. I get it, it seems logical, right? Hey, if it works for Coca-Cola, it'll work for me. But in reality, that is the fastest way to just burn through all your money and fail. So why is it such a bad idea? Because you're playing a completely different game. It's not even the same sport. A huge corporation's marketing department, they're busy trying to please the board or win some fancy creative award. A small business has one job and one job only: make a profit. Your playbooks just can't be the same. So you need a totally different tool for the job. And that tool is called direct response marketing. This isn't about vague stuff like getting your name out there. Nope. This is marketing with a purpose. It's designed to get a specific, immediate, and, this is the most important part, measurable action. Every dollar you spend is an investment, and you need to see a return on it. This is how we start to get really smart about our strategy. We have to find the secret to getting huge results without needing a huge budget. And it all comes down to one word: leverage.
Now, you've probably heard of the 80-20 rule, right? The Pareto principle. It's this kind of wild fact that in almost anything, 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. Think about it in your own business. I'll bet 20% of your customers are generating 80% of your revenue.
Okay, but hang on, because this is where things get really mind-blowing. Dib takes the 80-20 rule and applies it to itself, and what you get is the 64-4 rule. This suggests that a tiny little 4% of your actions are responsible for almost 2/3 of your success. That means that 96% of what most of us do every day is, well, pretty much a waste of time. The 4% activity isn't changing the font on your menu, it's finding the 10 biggest companies in your town and creating a special catering deal just for them. See the difference? That's leverage.
So where do you find that magical 4%? What's the one thing that gives you the most bang for your buck? It's marketing. You know, they asked the famous bank robber Willie Sutton why he robbed banks, and he said, because that's where the money is. Well, for a small business, marketing is where the money is.
And all of this, the mindset, avoiding the big mistakes, finding that leverage, it all leads us to the ultimate tool for putting it into action. The elegant solution at the heart of this whole thing, the one-page marketing plan.
And there it is, that's it. We're not talking about some 100-page document that you write once and then it gathers dust in a drawer. This is your entire marketing strategy on a single, actionable page. It's something you can literally stick on your wall, look at every day, and use to get real clarity and real momentum.
The genius of this plan is just how simple it is. It's basically a 3-act story that you guide your customer through. You've got the before phase, for people who don't even know you exist yet. Your only goal is to get them to know you. Then, the during phase, where they've become a lead. Now your goal is to get them to like you and make that first purchase. And finally, the after phase. They're a customer. Your goal now is to build trust so they buy from you again and again and tell their friends. It all boils down to know, like, and trust. That's the whole journey.
Okay,
So you've got this beautiful, simple template. Where on earth do you begin?
Well, Dib is super clear on this. You have to start with the single most important box on the whole page, your niche.
Everything, and I mean absolutely everything, starts right here in box number 1. Who is your target market? If your answer to that question is everyone, then I've got bad news for you. You're actually marketing to no one. You have to choose. Here's the goal. You want to become a big fish in a small pond. Stop trying to be a tiny little fish in a giant ocean. When you target a narrow, super specific niche, you can absolutely dominate that category. Your message gets laser focused, it's incredibly relevant, and here's the best part. When you're the go-to expert for a very specific problem, price almost doesn't even matter anymore.
But how do you choose the right niche? Dib gives us a really simple tool for this, called the PVP Index. You just rate your potential markets on 3 things. Personal fulfillment, do you actually enjoy it? Value to the marketplace, are you really helping them? And profitability, is there money in it? So for this photographer, for example, family portraits wins by a landslide. This is how you use data, not just a gut feeling, to find your perfect customer.
And that brings us to the final, and maybe the most crucial question you have to answer once you've picked your niche. Forget everything else for a second and just ask, what is the one thing my ideal customer craves more than anything else? If you can figure that out, you've just found the key to crafting a message they literally can't ignore. And that, my friends, is the fastest path to the money.